Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. Quick question. Have you ever wanted to have a server to do some testing or development work on, but you didn't have another machine to do it with? Hi, I'm Cassandra. My name is Cassandra. Hello, I just said that. I am the Prosperous Heart. As you can see from this scrolling thing up here, I break programming and digital marketing and other things down into easy to understand bite-sized pieces. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing a little bit of what I've been learning with a boot camp, and I'll tell you more about that in a little bit. So if you want to connect with me, that's my website. You also are on at least some social media platforms watching this live, so connect with me on there. But a little bit about me. As I mentioned, I'm going to be talking a little bit about this SSH tool. Now, why am I sharing this with you today? Because as a software developer, I am constantly learning, right? And I've held many hats. But software development for today is I'm always learning something. And when I got my job most recently back at Cisco, I reached out to my then not yet boss, and I was like, hey, what are some things that I can start learning to be a better asset for the team so I can try and be a little bit more prepared before I start? And he listed off several things, most of things I'd never heard of before. And one of them was Ansible. So if you don't know what Ansible is, it's basically an automation framework put on by Red Hat, which is basically a company that uses all their stuff on Linux. So I have access to a really cool training option, as it were, where this ZTM Zero to Mastery Academy, they have all kinds of trainings like Python, data science, machine learning, React. They have so many different options. Even Go, it's always updated. They are adding new things all the time, including ChatGPT, LLM stuff. So definitely check it out. But this link is an affiliate link. So if you click on it and decide that you want to invest in your own education, then I may or may not receive compensation, or I forget what the word is. Compensation for you click on that link. So if you do, thanks. If not, no big deal. But this is the boot camp that I am using to learn Linux administration, and eventually creating a project using Ansible. Now you'd think I would have known how to do Linux by now, but no. Everything that I've needed to use Linux for has been either super simple and it was easily done quickly, or there was a process for it already. So my knowledge of Linux prior to this boot camp was very minimal. So going through this, I was having some issues with the boot camp because the particular speaker, I don't know if he's a PC user or not. I would assume he's a Linux or a CentOS type of person, because he had a VirtualBox virtual machine with the Ubuntu version, and he had another one, maybe it wasn't virtual, but it looked like it, another one for CentOS. Neither of which are Windows, which I'm a Windows user, and I've not really needed to use a whole bunch of Linux stuff except for like projects and things like that with like boot camps when I'm learning stuff. So I did have a couple of issues, and eventually I figured out how to make it work. So this is going to be for you who may be looking to create a server with SSH and Linux and all that stuff, good stuff. I'm not going to go over everything today. I will be sharing that with my students. If you want to learn more, please reach out. But today I'm going to be sharing with you how it is that I made it work so I could talk to my virtual machine that was on my Linux computer. So let me go ahead and share my screen here. All right, so let me remove this as well. And if you want to watch this video and see other SSH trainings, definitely go to this website right here. Okay, so as you can see, I have the VirtualBox Manager on here. There was a couple of setup things I had to do before I showed you this, which it will be in the training and the cheat sheets I'm going to share with you in a second. But or the cheat sheets are going to be on that linked to those cheat sheets will be on this site. English. Okay. So in this VirtualBox Manager, when I had my VM set up, I logged into it, everything was good. I then was trying to, like I said, SSH to it, but I couldn't connect to it. Why? There was basically one big step here. So on your Ubuntu virtual machine over on your VirtualBox Manager, you'll right click and go to settings. The very first one on your network section, I don't know. The whole training that I have had it on bridge adapter, which I think was default when I installed it, I don't know, a few weeks ago. There's a bunch of different options and other things that you can do if you're a networking person. But basically, it was bridge adapter using my Wi-Fi because that's where the internet is coming from. And this allowed me to access the internet from the virtual machine in VirtualBox. In order for me to SSH to my virtual machine, I had to have a second adapter and have it host only. So it's the VirtualBox's Ethernet adapter. And this is the part that led me to be able to do this. So again, oh no, sorry, I'm looking at my notes over here now. Okay, so as I said earlier, SSH is a secure shell protocol, which means that you are creating a cryptographic network for operating secure network services over an unsecured network, meaning like copying files, things like that. So that's why it's a good thing to have and a good thing to use. This piece was the part that made it happen, like I said. So once you have that, you'll just start up your virtual machine. And a couple of things to make sure that it is prepared and ready for you. You need to make sure that it can connect outside still, and that your gateway is showing in your route printout, which I'll show you in just a second once this loads. So, oh, it went on the wrong screen. 1 second. There we go. Boom. Okay. So once this loads, it's just going to be a basic Linux machine if you're not familiar with it. It's going a little bit slower than it was earlier. In the meantime, oops, I forgot. In the meantime, what you're seeing right now is the Windows terminal. Now, normally in Windows terminal, I'm just kind of talking about this so while the Linux machine boots up, but normally the Windows terminal is just the command prompt. If you go to this article on my website, there is a link to a training that I've done about this. Basically what it is it's a brand new app on the Windows system. It is something you can easily install by default on a Windows 10, but an earlier version you have to do some stuff, and there's information on that site, on that page for that specific thing. And what is it? It's WSL, Windows Subsystem for Linux. I love it. There's so many other things I can do when I'm developing, but I'm not going to geek out on that today. But you're seeing the Ubuntu version of Windows Terminal on my PC. So this window right here is actually on my Windows PC. So okay, it's now loaded up. So let me just go ahead and log in. And you'll notice, this over here. You'll notice, actually over here, that in this command line that I have preemptively brought up, it has SSH-P 202042 username and then the IP address. What you'll see in a moment is that the IP address here is the IP address that is on the second Ethernet adapter that was just added, that VirtualBox host Ethernet adapter. That's the IP address for it that you'll see when you log into Linux. I'll show you in a second. This is a user that is authenticated on the Linux machine to have access to SSH. So in that bootcamp I was telling you about, the Linux machine behind this window, it is a little bit more secure. It's a little bit more locked down. So only people trying to SSH on this particular port, right, instead of the normal port 22, only people trying to access this port through SSH will have the ability, and only if they are specific users with that access, which this one is, will this SSH be able to work. So when you're on your Linux machine, I'm going to show you how. Sorry, I keep clearing my throat in your ear. Apologies. Thank you for your patience. You'll notice, or one of the things that you would do is ifconfig. So ifconfig, I'll just bring this up a little bit so you can see. ifconfig is your internet configuration. ENP OS or OS3, whatever that one is, that first Ethernet connection is the first one that connects to the internet. So this is the IP address for that one. This is the second Ethernet adapter that I added in order for me to be able to SSH to it. And as I said earlier, 192.168.56.101 is the same IP address that I'm going to be SSHing to from here, right? So you can see that it's up. So I know that the Ethernet is up. I should be able to connect to it, but I also need to make sure that I have my default gateway set. So when you do route-n, I want to make sure that's big enough. So route-n, you'll see the route that it takes to get out, and my default gateway is this right here, which again is this one. Is this Ethernet connection gateway? Okay, so that is where you would check to make sure, other side from the permissions, which I'll go into another time, but that's what you would check to make sure that you have connection from the Linux machine. From your Windows machine, so I'm just going to open up a command prompt, and I'm just going to ping that same address, right? So 192.168.56.101, make sure that I can see it. Great, it shows that I can get a reply from it. And so now I'm going to run my SSH. It's going to be like, oh, if no other issues, it's going to ask me to log in. And you can see that I'm now logged into the machine. I can do an ls. You can see that there's these items there, which if you look over here, you'll see that they are the exact same thing, right? Because I am connected to this machine from the Windows subsystem on my PC. It's crazy. All right. Another thing that I was saying that about authentication is that if I try to do that same SSH connection, but instead of this user that I have here, I would use another option that I did not give access to. It's going to ask me for my login, but then it's going to say, yeah, I don't think so. Permission denied, please try again, because this particular user does not have access. So that is, I think, all I wanted to share with you today. Let me just double check real quick. I just showed you how. Oh, yes. So the cheat sheet. So I said before that you just needed, I could have done something in there. Oh, well. If you go to that site, which I'll put it right here again. SSH trainings. Right now, it's the first one on this site. But if not, I'm going to put the URL down below, as you can see. But on here, I have a bunch of stuff, and I'm going to be adding more. So I'm also going to be sharing here, hey, how did I limit connections to my Linux virtual machine, things like that. But I'm also linking right here the markdown cheat sheet for these things. So if you're on GitHub, let's face it, unless you have like a memory where you remember everything you've ever seen, you probably won't remember every little thing, especially the tricks and tips when you're first getting started, when you're first setting up your environments. So something that I decided to do is I created a long time ago a cheat sheet repo on my GitHub. So let me remove this URL so you can see what's going on. So this repo, I have processes, I've got tools, I've got tricks that I've used, like virtual media wrapper, like my favorite. That's just all here. And so in the OS section, you'll find stuff for Linux, which includes what I was just talking about, how to set up your SSH from Windows 10 to a VirtualBox Linux VM. So everything that I just covered is all here. And I will be updating both these from time to time as certain things come up, right? Because I'm trying to not only share this with you, but also my students. And so you'll see other things popping up from time to time. Okay, so I believe that's it. Let me check my notes once more. Yep. All right, so thank you so much for watching. Again, my name is Cassandra. I love breaking programming, digital marketing, project management, everything that I've basically done in my life that I think is fun and might be helpful for you or help you create more prosperity in your life. I love breaking that down and just sharing that and anything else that I think might be able to empower you for greater success. So thank you so much for being here with me today. If you liked what you saw, join my mailing list. I need a new link. The one that I had before was for my digital marketing, but if you want to join my mailing list on all things, not just programming, but digital marketing, everything else, let me know. Follow me on whatever platform you're seeing this on, and I will see you in the next one. All right, thank you so much. Have a wonderful and prosperous rest of your day. Bye.